Welcome to our latest edition of the Roundtable. I'm Henry Frederick, editor and publisher of Headline Surfer. To my left is Stan Escudero, blogger for Headline Surfer. He writes the guidepost, look at political situations around the world, being that he's a former foreign ambassador. To his left is Bob Tolley, New Smyrna Beach citizen watchdog. He also writes a blog for the site called Tolley's Perch. To my right is Dana Dougherty Swanson from DeBarry, and she too writes a blog, a new one called Dana's Docket. Our opening segment, it's debate season in Volusia County. Stan, tell us about the situation with Tiger Bay as you see it, with the recent debate between Hugo and Bruno, and how that relates to the candidacy of Jason Davis.
Well, I'm not a member of Tiger Bay, so I wasn't present for the Hugo-Bruno debate. I only know what I saw in the newspaper, which seemed to indicate that the whole thing went reasonably well. My concern about Tiger Bay, of course, was that they failed to permit Jason Davis, who is a viable candidate for county chair, to appear earlier in the year when they hosted a debate between the two candidates who are members of the Democratic Party for that nonpartisan seat, the county chair seat. That, of course, was Carl Persis and Ted Doran.
Now, to clarify for the audience, you're the
I'm the chairman of the Republican Party of Volusia County, chairman of the Republican Executive Committee of Volusia County.
And this is a nonpartisan race for county chair. However,
yes, it is.
In this general election, people will be looking at partisanship, I would assume, and how they vote for the most part.
Sadly, in today's America, there is no such thing as nonpartisan politics. And because that's true, everyone needs to know who are members of the Democratic Party, who are members of the Republican Party, and who are not affiliated with any party. When these people run for office in races like the nonpartisan races for county council in Volusia County, where they're not required to or even not permitted to indicate their party affiliation.
Now, I spoke to Jason Davis after the Tiger Bay debate moderated by the News Journal's editor, Pat Rice, and he said that somebody approached him at a fundraiser the following night and asked him if he'd be interested in possibly taking part in the debate. And he kind of smiled and said that it was kind of ironic that, you know, after they ditched him or dissed him the first time, that they didn't go ahead and give him the respect of an opening debate this time, and they still don't have anything scheduled, nor has anyone gotten back to him several days later. Bobby, you wrote a blog last night. What's your take on this?
Good old PR Rice at work. That's Pat. Exclude who they want to exclude, don't cover who they don't want to cover, and they're the source of the news in this county. It's a joke.
Well, to be fair, the News Journal apparently is a corporate member of the Tiger Bay Club, which is a private. Stan, you know better than anyone. What is this Tiger Bay Club?
It's a private organization which exists, as I understand it, primarily in order to attract knowledgeable speakers on various issues of interest, whether they be local or state or national or international, so that its members can stay well informed.
And Dana, just so you're up to speed as well, I was told by the candidates, Bruno and Hugo, that they couldn't tape record anything. Nothing could be videotaped or audio taped for this, which I don't understand that, since it's supposed to be to enhance the public. But Bobby, I think what you were upset too about when we talked was the fact that the News Journal didn't say that it was a corporate sponsor of the Tiger Bay Club, nor did it reveal that Ted Doran, one of the candidates, and his law firm, the Doran Law Firm, was part of is also a corporate sponsor. And the other candidate, Carl Persis, is a paying member of the Tiger Bay Club.
And this comes as a surprise to you, Hal.
Well, I was shocked like everybody because I didn't see anything in the newspaper, and this debate was back before the August 14th primary.
You're not supposed to say.
Let me ask, is Jason Davis either a corporate member of their corporate board, or a member of the club?
No.
Okay.
No, was he invited or knew anything
No, I
about
knew he wasn't invited. I'm just
about the Tiger Bay
asking if
debate
he had any
last
other
week.
relationship with the club.
Dana, what's your take on this?
Well, it gives the appearance that they were trying to exclude him, that yes, they were favoring people that already had connections to Tiger Bay, but also it kind of I think a lot of people kind of dismissed Jason Davis as, oh, he doesn't have any money. Yeah, he's not
Well,
going to do
stop
it.
right there for a second, because that's interesting that you bring that up, because Doran and Persis, and correct me if I'm wrong, had upwards of $200,000 apiece in campaign funds available to them, and Jason Davis told me he only had 4,000, as you have stated.
Yes.
How much of do you think that maybe the focus is on the two bigwigs because of the money situation and what could be gotten from that?
I think they assumed that those two would be the ones that were going to be in the runoff, because Jason doesn't have any money. Well, it really proved, though, is that his willpower, I guess, of getting himself out there really has made an impact. And even though he hasn't had the money, he has been utilizing his money to the best of his ability, but also utilizing all of his supporters to the best of his ability. That, I mean, Doran is out and Davis is in the runoff.
And Doran was high profile. Stan, 22% of the voters, approximately 22% countywide, turned out for the primary.
Mhm.
We anticipate anywhere from 69 to 79% for the general election, especially with the Romney-Obama fight, at the helm here. Do you give, now, Jason Davis finished a strong second in that primary to force a
Yes, he did.
runoff, because Persis didn't get 50% plus one, even though he's virtually a two-term incumbent who resigned recently because of his pension issues, technicality of his pension. Does Jason Davis have a viable shot at beating a strong, knowledgeable technician like Carl Persis?
Look, any objective observer would have to conclude that Jason Davis is the underdog in this race. No doubt about that. Persis will be better funded. Persis enjoys the support of the Volusia County political establishment.
Well, Persis is hurting too right now. He spent a lot of his money
Well,
battling Doran.
Indeed he did, but I'm sure he will have more. But the point is, Jason Davis is a man of very strong character. He's proven that on the battlefield. He's proven that in his primary race. He is a man who is not only becoming more knowledgeable every day, but he is exceedingly personable. He's out walking the streets all the time, getting to know people, and to know Jason is to like him and to respect him. Moreover, because Jason brings, it's almost a cliche, but he brings a fresh set of eyes. Jason bears none of the responsibility for the mess that the county is in at present, whereas his opponent, Mr. Persis, has been on the county board for, was it 7 years? Almost
7.5 years.
Yes, and has been not only at the very core of many of the decisions that put us where we are now, but he has been preparing himself for those 7 years to continue in this vein for another 7, if the county can survive it. Mr. Davis will bring about the changes that the county needs to get itself back on the proper fiscal and development tracks. And I think more and more people are coming to recognize that. So the short answer to your question is hell yes. Jason Davis got a very good chance of winning.
Bobby, you're a registered independent, right? How do you view the Persis Davis race with 45 days to go? What's
Pretty
your
much
sense?
just the way Stan summed it up. Davis is a new face, he has a new look. The old
But can he
crew,
convince the voters with a larger percentile turning out in a Democratic majority of voters?
I think they've already shown that at the primary. This
You
young
do?
fella came out of nowhere.
Dana?
I believe so, because Jason is a determined man. I mean, like I say, he has a military background that you don't give up, you keep moving forward, and he just, like Stan says, to know him is to like him.
Well, I can tell you from my point of view of watching both candidates, Persis is not one to take lightly either, and you know from his
No,
dealings in the county council, he's not afraid to say no. And he is out there. I mean, he's got fundraisers left and right, and he's showing up at every site you can think of. Well, with that said, we want to also let the public know that we will be finally putting out our debates, our public candidate debates for the general election that we had at Oak Hill, for the Oak Hill mayor's seat, even though one candidate didn't show up in their own house. The race for county chair between Persis and Jason Davis, and of course, the race that everybody's anticipating in Southeast Volusia between the Republican Deb Denny's and the Democrat Jim Hathaway. Bobby, let me turn to you for that quickly. You know Hathaway, you know Denny's to some extent. How do you handicap that race? And we'll be going into more detail as the weeks come, but
I'll tell you, right now, in my own mind, my own position, it's very, very close. It is very close.
Yeah, I agree.
I could not pick one over the other right now.
yeah, I agree, they're pretty even right
And they're
now.
pretty evenly matched. It's gonna be,
And
voter turnout's gonna be the key.
the race has been pretty clean.
Yeah, to date, yes.
Stan, very briefly.
Well, again, you have to give Hathaway the edge slightly because he's been in government so many years.
18
because-
years.
Yes, and because his father was mayor before him, and the family is well known. They have better name recognition than Deb does. But Deb has the facts on her side. She knows the issues.
Former
She makes-
elected school board member.
Indeed. She makes,
Well, Hathaway is a-
she makes a very good argument.
Hathaway's a multi-term, just to let the
Yes,
viewers know.
he's an 18-year city commissioner.
Right.
That's what he is. But both of them bring a lot to the table. I'm not going to be terribly critical of Hathaway. Obviously, I support Deb Dennis, but both of them bring a lot to the table. I think both of them are popular in Southeast Volusia, and as Bob says, it's going to be an exceedingly close race.
Dana, as someone from the west side in DeBerry, and also we want to let the viewers know, for your full disclosure, that you were a Republican delegate at the National Convention in Tampa,
Yes.
and also at the one 4 years ago with McCain in, what, Minneapolis?
Minneapolis.
So that was pretty exciting time for you, as we've done in our last show. Give us your take on Hathaway and Denny's, as much as you know of them, beyond the party rhetoric.
Well, the thing is that Deb, I've known her for years, and she is a strong woman, a smart woman, and she has always, when she sets her mind to it, she moves forward, and I think she'd be a welcomed addition to the county council, because we need someone like her, like Stan said, she knows the facts, and she has always been cost conscious, and I think she would be a good person to help get Volusia on a better track.
Let me ask you this. I assume that you, like all the people here, including myself, a former reporter at the News Journal, that you have followed the candidates and public officials throughout the years. What do you know of Hathaway from your background of reading the newspaper and following local politics? Does he stand out to you in any way, or because you haven't really said much about him?
That's because I think it's been in the New Smyrna area and I live on the west side. I've known the name, but I really haven't known the man. So that, I mean, truth of it is that because of the area, I'm on the west side. So I just have known that he has really good name recognition and about, a little bit about that he's been serving in public office for years. But I really don't know much about him.
Well, with that said, that'll conclude our first segment. We'll be back in a moment.